Finally, opening day has arrived. Kepler on the first pitch of the season sends one to right. Goodbye. Picking up right where they left off.
The best to you from
FuzzJockRadio.
KMRT.
FuzzJockRadio.
And I'm starting this perfectly off. Season 3. We're okay. Man. We prepared for so many things. And so many stuffs. But we didn't prepare for the intro. And we're back.
Yeah.
This is FuzzJockRadio. I don't know if you've heard of us before, but my name is Fuzzy. We got our co-host J-Maz and another co-host C-Dubs.
I'm J-Maz.
And C-Dubs. And J-Maz. And me. I'm Fuzzy. And if you listen to the first 2 seasons, you'll be like, what the fuck is going on right now? Because these guys are really off kilter. And I'll say, you know what? Season 3 is about not knowing what's going to fucking happen, because this is FuzzJockRadio Season 3, and we're here to bring you the premier sports talks of all the sports worlds of the things. And it doesn't matter that I didn't start recording the episode early, but I will say that I'm sorry that I didn't start it up. But, you know, you downloaders, you should be listening live. And you live listeners should be downloading, because it is 2 different things, and you might catch something on one of the shows and then might not catch it on the next one, and vice versa.
It's listening synergy. You need it.
You need to listen to the live episode and the downloadable episode the next day. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Because it might be different. Because this is season 3, and we're doing things differently. Not really. We're back.
No.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you guys?
So good.
Sorry about that intro, but I think that worked well.
I don't know what's going on most times.
Yeah, you knew more what was going on last time, though. In season 2, it seemed like, J-Maz, you knew way more than before.
I used to knew how to know more. But then I'm
yeah. And C-Dubs, you know more than he did in season 1, but you know less than he did in season 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay. And I know what you guys know, because I can read your minds. So
no, not true.
Really?
No,
I thought
you
it
can't
was
read
true.
my mind.
I thought it could, but
He's reading the teleprompter though that is connected to your mind.
well, we'll move on.
For the best.
We are here in season 3. We took some time off because it was off season, and right before we took off, the coronavirus hit, and we did a lot of predictions of saying, the sports are coming back during our off season. It's not going to work. And I think that we're going to have to eat our words. We'll talk about that here in the future, because it looks like sports still actually went on. Actually, a lot of sports went on during our break. But we will get to that at some point in the future. We will talk about the NBAs and the MLBs and the UFCs and the AEWs and the NHLs and the WNBAs and the crickets and the MLSs and all the things, because they came back while we were on off season, and it was bogus. There was so much sports to talk about, and now they're still going. But before we get into that, we will talk a little bit about what we did during our off season, because that's how we start these shows. I said that things would be different in season 3, but you'll see. C-Dubs, how was your off time? How was your off season? What did you do? Did you train, or did you just were you lazy?
I trained the whole time.
Okay.
It was off season training. It was hard. Just nose to the grindstone the whole time. Never let up once. So I'm roaring, ready to go.
I like that.
Do season 3. Yeah.
Wow. Whoa. Wow. And Jamez, did you train or did you just stay lazy? You notice I said
Well,
stay lazy because you're usually
thanks.
lazy.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I just needed to point that out if you didn't catch it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, I gave myself a vacation,
Okay.
a mental vacation.
Okay. That's good. You got to do that sometimes.
Return flights are shut down though, so still.
Staying on that vacation.
We're gonna talk about that in the future, with that correspondent contest that we had going. Don't. This is a little sore subject there, James. I wish you didn't bring that up. But you went on vacation and mental vacation, and you're not coming back. So
I don't know. It's not much to know these days.
Well, it makes season 3. It makes season 3 unpredictable, and that's the formula for this season, the template, if you will, the motif of season 3 is the unpredictability of life events and things. You like that, guys?
I do.
I think that's where we're going to go with season 3. Is the template is we don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
So don't tune out. Don't worry. It's all a bit. So what hasn't been a bit?
Where should we go from here, though?
I'm just gonna get right into it. I was just gonna be like, you know what? And what hasn't been a bit is this fucking COVID shit, man. It's still taking lives.
Real.
It's still real. People are still not wearing masks, even though they should. And like I said, I feel that we need to eat our words. Maybe I should just speak for myself, but I should eat my words. From last season that I predicted that by the time we came back into season 3, everything would be re-shut down, sports would be done, because too many people got sick. But as we all know, all the sports kept going. And they did their bubbles, and since the sports are going, I just assume nobody else got sick. Is that correct, C-Dubs?
No, people definitely got sick, and it did alter certain leagues.
Well, let's get into that. Let's get into MLB.
We'll start with MLB. MLB through this would be August 5th. The numbers we're using, but there have been 104 public tests made positive. So 104 people in the MLB system have tested positive.
Publicly said that they were positive. Publicly said.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
and the average age of that player is 27.
I feel that's a sticking point that we need to be with. Publicly have stated 104.
Yep.
Average player is 27.
Yep. And they've also had 58 of those people have been able to return and rejoin their teams. So they've been infected and gotten better and been able to rejoin. So it's about half.
Okay.
But still, that's, there's a lot of coaches in there and stuff like that who have been able to rejoin and stuff. So, but
what
it's concerning.
It's very concerning, and what's really concerning to me with these numbers is the breakdown of the origin. I mean, I suppose most of the players, since it's the MLB, are going to be USA, a U.S. origin. But out of the 104, 60 of them were from the USA, 15 Venezuela, 14 Dominican Republic, and 6 Cuba. So the majority of those cases were just like all the other statistics that you see out there, with just the world in general. The U.S. is definitely leading the way.
To go back to how we were kind of thinking things would be going at this point, I did fear the numbers would be much higher. So I guess I'm happy to feel like some of their precautions are working to a degree. So
And a lot of the cases happened earlier in the season when they were still figuring out how to do the precautions, right?
Yes. That was one sticking point I was going to say is they did seem to get wise to what they were doing wrong quickly.
Mhm.
Because a lot of they've still had games as recent as last week postponed due to positive cases, but usually they aren't a player who's active anymore. It's mostly like a coach will get it or something.
Mm-hmm.
But early in the season, we had 17 Marlins players get it, postponing or canceling almost every game of theirs for almost in the first 3 weeks of the season. And then on top of that, we even had the Cardinals who had 14.
Jeez.
And they had a chunk of their season canceled or postponed as well.
So
Phillies had to,
maybe we're just a little too soon to say, like, when does the season end with the MLB?
So October is supposed to be the beginning of the postseason, and it sounds like they might be worried because they might switch to a bubble for the postseason.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's easier to do that with less teams.
True.
yeah.
How?
But do you feel like I mean, we talked about this where the players, may not have felt like they agreed to, that kind of stipulation of isolation.
Yeah. Well, also like, like it's weird to me too. Like the Nationals players voted against traveling to Miami since the Marlins all got sick, but the decision on if the games are going to be played is not on the teams either.
Yeah. Because that was that was something that baseball just decided to play nice with. They could have been like, no, you got to go play those games if they wanted to, but they didn't, which was good on them to not do, but fucked up that that's not up to the team to decide whether or not they get infected.
And I'm thinking like too, it's like it's great that sports have been able to keep going on, right? But people are still getting because of it going on. People are still getting sick, and because of the corona still happening, there's still major questions on what happens if one of the top teams gets sick before the postseason. Is it is this year? Well, you don't get to be in the World Series because you got sick. It's either if you get sick or if you lose, you don't get to be part of the World Series anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's playing Russian roulette almost. It seems like to me.
Yeah, and it's a societal problem too, in that people are thinking, just like baseball players are starting to, that things are getting better so that you can just start forgetting about stuff and not worrying about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more that people see, oh, sports are back, life's back to normal, then they're out and about. Well, then sports people are out and about too, running into those people.
I'm just that brings back thoughts that I've had during that off season that we just got through.
Tell us about it.
And that's something that's really nice. I just want to say, guys, at first when we were talking about an off season, I'm like, guys, like all these sports are coming up. I don't get why you guys want to do this, but it allows us to think about things a little bit because my mind goes a little bit slower than most. That I don't remember where I was going with this, guys.
Classic.
No,
Thoughts about COVID, sports, the risk.
Sports coming back.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
point I was making is
No,
that
I know. What I'm saying is that there are certain establishments in town that have, and I'm not calling anybody out, but that have been having shows and having people come to their shows, right? And that makes other people start thinking that, well, it's good to have shows. I mean, it's okay to have shows. It's okay to have this or that. More people coming because this establishment's having this. And sure, the first establishment or baseball or whatever is having, is doing their due diligence. They're doing the best job ever to making sure that nobody's getting sick. But the second establishment that sees the first establishment being like, yo, they're doing a good job, we'll do a good job too. Who knows if that second place or the third place now that sees two places opening up, the third place is like, well, they're opening up. We should be able to open up too. And then they don't take as good of precautions. And then more and more places start opening up and start having more and more people come through. And then, bam, everybody fucking gets sick again and everything has to shut down.
Well, I mean, that essentially sounds like the response to things since, we couldn't handle, lockdowns, and, there is this, man,
Things are getting
primordial a primordial urge to just have normalcy, that I think, unfortunately a lot of people just feel maybe like they can brute force their way through believing in normalcy, and this is what happens. So
well, I think it's that they think it just doesn't affect them. It just won't affect them. They're different. That's what the two players in Cleveland. The rest of the team stayed completely quarantined and did the right thing. Two players went to the bars. They were like, fuck it, we're going to go hang out. They broke quarantine. They came back. They got caught. They lied about it to the team. One of the players wouldn't even come straight forward about it, putting people's lives in danger because he thinks it doesn't affect him.
yeah,
he's
I would
not
know.
gonna
I don't know. Do people think they have like another sense? Like they'll feel the Rona like tickling up their spine.
Or they'll see it. Like, oh, there it is.
Oh, there, yeah.
I'll turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's a big push to, man. Something I've been thinking about lately is optics.
Yeah.
Optics, man. The money is going into optics to, make it look what's pleasable. Right?
Yeah.
It just sucks.
So
I mean, for him to not to immediately admit that he was part of the group, part of the group that went out, and then they flew back with his team, not knowing if he was sick or not. There's a big possibility that he is. There's a big possibility that he isn't. What possibility?
Yes,
I don't. The more and more things and more people go out into the wild again, without a vaccination, without any cure to this COVID-19, statistics alone state that more and more people are going to get sick again. And unfortunately, nobody's special enough to not get sick from this thing. Right?
Yep. Everyone's just
and
susceptible. That's
what I really like is that the NBA and the WNBA at least are taking it seriously. There was that.
Yes.
There was a story of a player in the NBA going out for chicken wings or getting an order of chicken wings outside the bubble, and right away he got caught. Right away he got ridiculed, and punished. And he right away realized, oh, this is serious.
He was on shows like that week, apologizing and realizing he had made a huge mistake, putting people's lives in jeopardy. And it wasn't just that, hey man, I was getting chicken wings. What's the big deal? He was like, oh no, I made a big mistake. This is huge. This could have cost my team the playoffs. This could have cost me my life. This could have cost, he understood well, I'd hope he'd understood the ramifications, but he seemed to have really understood what he had done.
Yeah, and
as for this guy, Clevenger or whatever, he doesn't think it affects him at all.
No, yeah, and it's great. And we'll get to the NBA and WNBA about how they've been doing, like they haven't gotten anybody sick because they're doing an actual bubble. But before we move on to that, there has been games going on, which is great. And that's another thing that I want to just bring up real quick too, since I'm thinking about it. One of those deep thoughts that I had during our break was when sports came back, like it totally made sense of why it's not just about the money. People need sports. Like it's people need that to see that competition. I don't know what the lizard brain or the primordial thing or whatever it is that is satisfying us, but holy shit, people need competition. I don't know the Sigmund Freud of it, but it's definitely a need, and it's been sports has been part of our lives forever. Greek and Roman times, they got that stuff. Then back in the barbarian times, they had T-Rex versus, like the Triceratops, and it's just crazy.
That's definitely real.
Know, though, quick, are you a Triceratops or a T-Rex guy?
Triceratops all the way, man.
Okay, same.
Yeah.
Oh, J-Mez over there, you're not T-Rex, are you?
Nah, Patasaurus, baby.
Oh, whatever.
But when the first baseball was thrown, it like you could just feel like the collective sigh of some relief, like not fully, but like you could tell that people were like, okay, at least we got
to be
something
fair,
normal.
man. The first baseball we saw thrown was hit over the fence, so that was a Minnesota privilege right there.
Yeah, that was great.
Beautiful.
The Twins have been doing pretty well. They just got off a really bad little losing streak, but they just got 4 out of 5 wins. So they're back. What is it? White Sox 26-15, Cleveland Indians 25-15, Minnesota 26-17, Detroit 18-21, and Kansas City 14-27. So we're in third place.
And that fluctuates easily because of how close we all are. But yes,
we're one game out of first.
Yeah.
But one game first.
One game equals 4 games, right? And then the 4 games equals 22 games. And then if you win 22 games, you get to the 182 and you go to the World Series.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it. Okay. Yeah.
There is one great thing I will say about how this season's been panning out. If you guys have been noticing the Yankees being really bad lately.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I just love it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
But the Yankees are going to say that there's an asterisk with this season, so
There's already a team for that in Houston.
True. Very true. That's what's really sucks about this too, is that there's no fans for those Astro games. Like they're absolutely getting slid. They're sliding just right through this.
Well, I want to talk about this. We don't have this on our show list, but I want to talk about this. So did you guys see Joe Kelly for the Dodgers pitch against the Astros? Any of you?
Yes.
Okay. So Joe Kelly was actually on the Red Sox when the Astros played the Dodgers. So he didn't have the history they have. But he took one for the team and totally threw pitches at them, not purposefully,
Not
but
purposely.
took the brunt of the suspension, because he threw some balls over their heads.
So
great.
during a game, he started fucking beaning players on accident, quote unquote, or rabbit ears, like, and then the Astros team started jabbering at him, and he jabbered back and made some faces at him, and then it was fucking funny as hell. And then he got thrown out of the game, and then he got suspended for like throwing a ball pretty close to somebody's head, and got suspended for more games than the Astros combined.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was something else. But it was like the face he made at the Astros bench was great. He's like,
Trying to pull it up from Jameis here on the screen.
No, I just want to remember Fuzzy's expression of that.
There you go,
Not
Jameis.
even gonna.
here. Oh, we can probably
Not
hear it
doing
too. Oh yeah,
I'm not even looking.
that's exactly the face that I made.
Okay, there you go. Anyway,
Okay.
because that's the only justice there's been for the Astros, at least, of getting some type of retribution, I should say.
Yeah.
Whatever you say. The old MLBs, though.
So the NBA has been doing great with the coronavirus. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if they have had any staff or team members get sick, but I don't think they have.
They did
Because
the offseason, but they haven't since the bubble.
not since the bubble, right? And
Nope.
because they just like they've quarantined everybody, like what you would think a bubble would be, as in nobody being able to go out or come in, like we were saying with the guy with the wings. They can't do that, and they don't allow it. And if somebody needs to leave for family emergencies or what have you, they get approval. They can, but then when they come back, they have to wait 2 weeks and go through a protocol to make sure that they're fucking clean. And it's great because they don't have anything to worry about, and they're just playing their games and going into the playoffs. And unfortunately, that's not the real world. Unfortunately, once again, the real world doesn't fucking care about a bubble. And we have to remind people that Black Lives Matter. It really fucking sucks that for some reason there are people that don't remember that. There are some people that will decide to just shoot an unarmed black man in the middle of broad daylight, and there are people that support it. And it's fucking horrible. These NBA players, these sports players, should only have to worry about doing sports. The Bucks shouldn't have to think about having a walkout on one of their games. They should be able to just play their games and be happy that they're not getting sick, because their league knows how to control this. But like I said, unfortunately, the world, or America specifically, don't care.
Doesn't listen. Yep, don't listen.
They don't listen. But I think I wanna play what Doc Rivers' response was during a interview, because he can say it a lot better than I can. Here, see if this plays right away.
as far as the other situation, it's just so sad. You know, what stands out to me is just watching the Republican convention, and they're spewing this fear, right? Like, all you hear is Donald Trump and all of them talking about fear. We're the ones getting killed. We're the ones getting shot. We're the ones that we're denied to live in certain communities. We've been hung, we've been shot, and all you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back. And it's really so sad. Like, I should just be a coach. And it's so often reminded of my color. You know, it's just really sad. We got to do better. But we got to demand better. Like, it's funny. We protest and they send riot guards, right? They send people in riot outfits. They go to Michigan with guns and they're spitting on cops and nothing happens. The training has to change in the police force. The unions have to be taken down in the police force. My dad was a cop. I believe in good cops. We're not trying to defund the police and take all their money away. We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else. I didn't want to talk about it before the game because it's so hard, like, to just keep watching it. That video, if you watch that video, you don't need to be black to be outraged. You need to be American and outraged. And how dare the Republicans talk about fear? We're the ones that need to be scared. We're the ones having to talk to every black child. What white father has to give his son a talk about being careful if you get pulled over? It's just ridiculous. And it just keeps going. There's no charges. Breonna Taylor, no charges, nothing. All we're asking is you live up to the Constitution. That's all we're asking for everybody, for everyone. Thank you. You want to get back to basketball?
Coach, could I have a follow-up on that?
Yeah.
Just real quick. I mean, there's been players from the Raptors and the Celtics sort of weighing, do you play, not play? You said how tricky it is to be a coach.
One thing I'd say, I think you always play. You know why? We can fight for justice, but we still should do our jobs. I really believe that. Because doing our jobs, people are seeing excellence from Americans, black Americans and white Americans. So I would still do my job. That's just my opinion. But if my players told me no, it'd be no. I can tell you that. It's when you watch that video, it's sickening. It's sickening. You know, his kids were in the car. How do they ever get that out of their mind? How are those kids ever normal?
And you've been in the spot deciding boycott, not boycott. What would your message be to players who are in this situation, weighing these kinds of questions really for the first time?
My message is go after your dreams. You don't allow anything to take you away from your dreams. Doing the Donald Sterling thing, you know, Matt Barnes and Chris Paul, DJ and Blake and all those guys, JJ Redick, they all pulled together. And at the end of the day, the one thing we decided when we were little kids and we were in the backyard by ourselves and we had these dreams about winning the championship, Donald Sterling was not in our dreams, and neither were these cops. And so they're not going to take anybody. They're not taking our dreams away. All right? And so that would be my message.
Thank you.
I have a few questions here on Zoom.
Yeah.
Here. It feels a bit wrong to go back to basketball.
No, it's what we do. Like, I should be talking about basketball. And so it's what we do.
Did you feel like the team connected to emotions? You talked about it being an emotionally weak last game. Did you feel like the team really connected on that level today?
Yeah, we did. We did.
So yeah,
And then the next day is when they did the boycott, or 2 days later. So as he said, he says to play, but he says if the players say we're not gonna, and they made the decision after that protester was shot, or those two protesters were shot dead, that they weren't gonna play. And Doc was one of the first people right there to say we're not playing, right with them.
and then yeah, yeah. So yeah, which sparked a bunch of protests across a bunch of sports.
All of sports.
All of sports.
Yeah.
Which was great.
All the other games across the other leagues blacked out that day for sure.
Bleeding into the next 2 days, actually.
Yeah.
Yep. So it lasted 3 days. That games were blacked out, put aside, not worried about at that time because they wanted to worry about other stuff. Even the NFL players did a good job of that too, but we're talking about the NBA. And it was crazy though. They didn't mean for this to work out, but that walkout of that game by the Bucks was exactly 4 years to the day that Colin Kaepernick first protested police brutality.
That's really crazy.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years.
For it to be, it's very powerful for it to happen on the same day. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. It's just really disheartening.
Yeah. And then it goes even into the WNBA, where one of their owners is a Republican senator, and she is against Black Lives Matter and has come out vocally, said things against it. And so some of the players of the team she owns have worn shirts for her political opponent in support of them. So they're getting involved too, of being like, even our owner is against this? No. We're not putting up with that. And so they've been wearing shirts for her political opponent.
Which is great because it's been outing other people as well.
Yeah.
And you told me that in the MLS there was an owner that was outed to be have racist comments. And so then the MLS is like, you know what? No, we don't want this. And like they're buying him out or something like that.
They basically talked him into selling his chunks.
I mean, they made him have to sell the team.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as strong as when Donald Sterling was told by the NBA he had no choice.
Yeah.
But to sell, but they were nudging him that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
well, I guess we could talk about even hockey too got involved in this with Matt Dumba from the NHL.
Oh yeah, that's
our own Matt Dumba was the first player to kneel in the NHL for Black Lives Matter and to bring eyes onto police brutality.
And then he ended up winning the King Clancy Memorial Trophy for being the person of making for equality. And I have a quote by him when he won the King Clancy Memorial Trophy is that he's like, I'm very comfortable with talking about it. I spend hours and hours each week on calls with the Hockey Diversity Alliance and talking about these issues. For me, it wasn't ever trying to be a face of something. It's just trying to make a difference in my community and in the game that I love. And it's just great how humble he is about it. You know, it's like, this is just part of daily life, man. This is it. You know, I need to talk about it because
he's so wonderful. So he knelt for the American anthem, but didn't kneel for the Canadian anthem. His next day, when he was being interviewed about it, he said, "I regret not kneeling during the Canadian anthem to bring eyes onto the way they treat the Indigenous population in Canada."
Oh,
And
wow.
that shows a lot of awareness on his end too, that he made a mistake, and to bring it up when he's asked about the statement he did make. So I like him. I've
Yeah.
always loved Dumba, but I love his movement he's starting here and working with in hockey, because they've been one of the quietest leagues when it comes to anything like this. And it's nice to see them step up a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. So, while the world turns and fucking stupid racist cops are shooting black people in the streets still, the sports keep going. They are now currently in their NBA finals. Looks like it's LA, the Lakers versus Houston, Denver versus the Clippers, Boston versus the Raptors, and Milwaukee versus Miami. The Clippers game is going on right now, so I don't know exactly what the score is. Actually, did it end? But
Might have just ended.
other than the Heat versus Bucks game, everything's pretty close. Looks like the Heat's probably gonna take it in the East, take it to the conference finals. But
Crazy, considering everyone thought it would be the Bucks.
Boston and Toronto are 2-2. Denver and LAC are 1-1, and the Lakers and Houston are 1-1.
Well, Boston won today, so they're 2-1.
Okay, 2-1.
Just before the show, because this is from the show prep.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the WNBA, looks like the Chicago Sky is number 1 in the Eastern Conference with 11-9. Followed up by the Connecticut Sun by 9-10. And then in Western Conference, Seattle Storm 16-3, and the Las Vegas Aces 14-4, and our Minnesota Lynx all the way down at 4 with 13-6. So in the Western Conference, it is really close.
So they're all, I believe they're all locked up for the playoffs, and it's the other conference is like not going at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, is that how it's going?
I think that's how it's going for them. So the teams with the X's are all in, but they're all from the Western Conference.
Yeah.
But it's probably because
Oh,
of the
okay.
bubble system that they're running that it's
Okay.
different playoff format.
So the Chicago Sky, Seattle Storm, Las Vegas Aces, Los Angeles Sparks, Minnesota Lynx, and Phoenix Mercury are going to the playoffs. Okay, so they're just combining them all. And
Yep. And we don't have a playoff bracket yet because the end of the season is next week.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep.
And then in the MLS,
Oh yeah, the MLS is back tournament, which had a bubble.
yep. After
So that started off a little shaky because teams were coming in with a bunch of positive cases, but those teams decided to just drop out of the tournament, so they didn't compete. But the tournament actually went off without a hitch. Again, the bubble format seems to work. Portland Timbers ended up winning the tournament against Orlando City, which was shocking because Orlando City, no one really thought had a chance to do anything.
in a 2-1 victory.
Yeah, and Orlando City looked pretty good in the bubbles. So that was just a little bit of bubble magic, baby. But
Okay.
Bubble magic.
Bubble magic.
And
I
then
love
the
bubble magic.
NHL that has also been as good as the NBA and the WNBA because they went straight real bubble situation too. They're in their Stanley Cup playoffs right now, and it looks like it's going to be the Golden Knights versus the Stars in the Western Conference, and then the Lightning versus possibly the Flyers or the Icelanders. But the Icelanders are 6-1 lead here, so
Well, that's the
Oh no,
Icelanders.
that's their seating.
that's just
Yeah.
Do we know? Okay,
But
so yeah.
I mean, the Icelanders lost to the Mighty Ducks, so I wouldn't be too worried about them.
True. What? Okay. So, that brings us to NFL, who hasn't started
And-
yet.
That's why we start the new season.
Yeah, I just got to put this out there. I can't believe that the NFL is starting next Sunday.
Yeah.
crazy.
Are
Yeah.
there games on Thursday at all?
There will be a game on Thursday, September 10th.
I can't believe there's going to be a game
Good luck.
on September 10th.
Yep.
Okay, so since the NFL, since the NFL has had all this time to learn from the mistakes of the previous leagues,
Yeah.
please tell me that they're going straight bubble, not letting any of their players out of this bubble, and making sure that everybody's safe, right? Because that's what we're seeing, right, from all these other leagues doing this already. That the actual bubble situation, let the players ride on the Disneyland rides. That's okay. But straight bubble, right?
These guys, they're
Good.
super tough, though. Football players are super tough. Tough guys, Tough guys.
Yeah, they die. They
Tough
die.
guys.
If they die, they die.
Yeah.
Tough guys.
But no, they haven't listened at all. In fact, they have the most they have like the most up in the air, craziest circumstances of what's going to happen of them all. Believe it or not, they are the least ready.
They had the most time and they're the least ready.
Yep.
How?
They're not doing a bubble. They are possibly going to allow fans in certain stadiums as soon as the third week.
Oh, what?
Didn't they have
Maybe,
107 players positive during the offseason?
Yeah, but that's the off season. Yeah,
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they can
they
just
don't-
get better.
Oh, also,
They-
I'm not going to even say. Okay, so one of the things I want to make sure we don't do during season 3 is make jokes like I was just going to make, or at least we have to explain ourselves. I was going to say, or like the positive tests were not real. Didn't you see that news article that I saw on the Facebooks? Because there was there
they had
was
5 false.
there
negatives
was
of
5
10
false
million.
negatives, and some of the
False
Vikings were
positives.
part of that, or false positives. There were some false positives, and some of them were Vikings, and
Yeah.
those were samples that did come from one company, and there are multiple companies that do tests, and they are aware of it, and they're making sure to track it, right? But people are fucking going with that little tidbit that there's been a couple positive tests that were not real, and they're like, oh, I can't believe any of the statistics now, and it's like, fuck off. Sorry.
Yeah, somewhere. Go over
I'm not
there.
sorry, actually.
Yeah, it's
But
so. But yeah, they're gonna still, like I said, they're gonna try and go full steam ahead, like they've said all along. It is what it is. I mean, they've got each team. There's an ESPN article which updates constantly that lets you know where each of the 32 teams stand as far as letting people into their stadiums go, because they're all different.
they should all be
The same, yes.
They
They
should
should
all
all
be
have the same
no,
protocol.
thank you. Do not come to a game this year. Thank you.
Yes,
We'll
they should all
broadcast
be
it on
no
TV
fans.
for free for you.
They should be doing cardboard cutouts like baseball, and
Pay for
they
our
should be having no
service.
fans.
We'll send you some, apparel. We'll send you some stuff. buy our product. Let's change our shit, right? Let's change our stuff up. Let's do this. Let's do this right.
We're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
Well, they're gonna let fans in. Then cool. I wonder what's gonna happen.
All jokes aside, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, guys.
I just don't.
So
I don't understand.
So they're gonna have 2 weeks where they can't have any fans, and then after those 2 weeks, then every stadium can do whatever they want.
Maybe.
Possibly.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Possibly. It just sounds like there seems to be a decree that everyone's in agreement for the first 2 weeks.
The Vikings
I don't understand why.
The Vikings announced August 25th they will play their first 2 regular season home games without fans on September 13th versus the Green Bay Packers and September 27th versus the Tennessee Titans. Based on our conversations and the current Minnesota Department of Health guidelines that specify an indoor venue capacity of 250 people, we have determined it is not the right time to welcome fans back to the U.S. Bank Stadium, the team said in a statement. Okay.
So maybe it's 4 weeks, first 2 home games, each team.
Week 1 schedule is up. Don't really want to. So we got.
Yeah, you could look it up, right?
Yeah, you guys can look it up. We'll post it possibly on the Facebooks and stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's something. We do have Facebook and we do have Twitter. And just look up FuzzJockRadio and on both of those social medias, and you'll find us. Sometimes we post stuff and sometimes we don't. Like I said in the beginning of the cast, if you are still listening,
who knows?
Make sure to download the podcast later, because there might be something in it that you missed. You don't know what to expect in season 3, is what I'm saying.
Never know.
The XFL.
You need to mention before that.
Oh yeah.
It is Packer week, so everyone, make sure you wear your Vikings stuff on Sunday.
I'm wearing my Viking stuff right now.
Yeah, you're wearing it now. You're wearing your Viking stuff right now.
Yeah, sports stock, guys.
I don't have any Viking stuff.
Well,
I'll email you some.
Maybe you should get some.
Good.
Email it to them and wear it, James, because these
wearing
sports teams, they need our support. They need.
Then otherwise, sports aren't going to make it.
They need our money.
You know what? I need their support. Tell them to email me.
So the Rock bought XFL. We thought that the XFL was going to be a done deal, but nope. The Rock bought it, and he's bringing it back.
Good.
And lay the smack down on us again. It's beautiful. I love it. I think it's a great thing.
Oh, fuck, guys. I just thought of something.
But he got COVID now.
He did.
The Rock did. Yeah, he did, actually. Yeah. And he put out a really neat statement.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was dumb and I didn't believe in it, but I believe in it now. You should too. That's not what he said.
No.
So we had this contest that was going on for a correspondent to go to the UFC island, and we kind of forgot that we sent him out there.
Oh, crap.
Because we went into our vacation off-season mode when we sent him.
Huh. I wonder how they're doing.
I don't have contact with them.
I think they're all quarantined.
I just realized too, we're not going to be able to get them back in the country.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
You know what's bullshit?
What have we done?
You know what's bullshit? Is that
Dana
Fight
White.
Island wasn't really an island.
Yeah, that was
it wasn't.
bullshit. Anyone who tuned into Fight Island was just as disappointed in us because it didn't have a shark and it wasn't on an island.
Raise your hand.
We're right there with you, man. That sucks.
Yeah, there was no sharks. There were no palm trees. There was amusement parks around. It was in a little. It was like in a little warehouse on like Abu Dhabi, which is I can't say
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, which is technically an island, but it's not what they were making us envision.
Yeah, that's not what they promised us.
It's not what they promised, and it was bullshit. And you know what's also bullshit is they're acting like they're doing everything right, and they're not.
Nope.
You know, their main event on September 12th had to be canceled because their fucking main person got sick. Bullshit. I call bullshit.
They're one of those examples. They're not doing it right, but they're saying everyone else is doing it right, so they get to play too, and then they get to do it wrong.
Bullshit.
It is.
I don't want to support UFC. I'm just going to call it right now.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Bye.
We're leaving that person there.
Delete.
Delete.
I'm deleting UFC out of FuzzJockRadio.
Deleted.
Gone.
I just thought of this too. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything Black Lives Matter. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Because Dana White can suck my dick. Fuck him. I shouldn't say shit like that because I'm not.
No.
I'm more of
No,
a pacifist.
I'm right there with you.
But
Fuck him.
you know, he supports that fucking number 45, and fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Fuck all that shit. They okay. That's it. UFC's deleted out of FuzzJockRadio.
Don't even like it anymore.
AEW
Never really did.
Never did.
In the beginning had a COVID scare in the beginning, but then they went straight bubble, and then they were doing really well. And then now they're letting fans back in.
They are.
What?
Yeah.
They're letting in 10% capacity at their venues and keeping everyone wearing a mask, and they have to stay. No one's in the main bowl, but still they have people. And it's outdoors. It's also outdoors.
It is outdoors.
But still.
Yeah.
So they had their first people match at their pay-per-view, AEW All Out. It was fun. It was a fun pay-per-view. It was really good. Really well done for, you know, a new promo that was coming out. And yeah, like you said, you know, everybody was in masks that were audience members, and they were very far away from the wrestlers and stuff like that, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool, but I do also agree that they just shouldn't do it because, once again, like I was saying in the beginning of this episode, it just makes it seem okay for the impression for other people to be cool with it too, no matter how good you're doing it. And I congratulate you for having whatever you're doing. But just got to remember that there's other people out there that want to that see it and get jealous that you're doing it, and then the UFC gets sick, you know. But yeah, it was really well done. It was fun. Jericho and Orange Cassidy had this Mimosa Mayhem match. I just want to get to that right away because
let's go right into it.
Jericho would be really happy with us. I would like to partner with him. He has his own talk show. So yeah, Jericho, if you're listening, good job on that. You really put Cassidy over the during these last couple months. I've seen what you've been doing. Orange wouldn't be anywhere without you. And you had to take that fall. Like I totally get it. You had to fall in that vat of mimosa because he was
thirsty.
It's 4 I
it
bet
was
you
4
were
p.m. by
thirsty,
that
but
time,
it was
man.
for Orange, you know. It was for Cassidy, you know. Like Cassidy really owes you a lot
of mimosa.
But yeah, it was really fun. That was a lot of fun.
Very creative.
Well,
there was a botch during the show, which was very scary. But Matt Hardy seems to be doing all right. But yeah, he fell back, missed the table, and hit his head on the concrete.
Yeah,
and they kind of had to cut the match.
And then they came back, and then he finished the match. And who knows? Maybe like he
came back and finished the match after that.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have him do any wrestling. He came back and pushed a guy off of a tower.
Oh,
that's all he did. but still.
So what played out was that he and Sammy were on this scissor belt thing, and he fell backwards and he was going to fall into two tables. He missed he overshot it, missed one of the tables, and head hit the ground. And the ref went up and to check on him and put up two X's saying she put up an X with her arm saying that he was totally actually knocked out and we need to call this. And then he came to and told the doctor on the scene that he's okay and gets up and wobbles around for a little bit and looks like he's fucking drunk. And Sammy comes back out because Matt Hardy said that he was okay. He wanted to keep wrestling, and then they quickly kind of go through the stands and get to their last spot, and then throws Sammy off the thing. And the big thing is that if they called the match, Matt Hardy, the storyline was that he was going to leave AEW. And so he woke up from his concussion and being like, "No, I can't be thrown out of AEW. We have to finish the storyline." Is how it played out. And now
that's how it played out.
And so everybody is like on Twitter, and everybody that was watching it was like, "That was really bad. He has concussion." We saw two X's being thrown up by the ref. That match should have been called no matter what for his safety. And then he just recently put up on Twitter saying, "We're going to talk about this on AEW Dynamite."
Yep, this Wednesday.
So now it's like, was it a bit? Maybe he didn't really overshoot it. It just looked like it.
Maybe this is their way of ending the rivalry quickly. I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know.
It's called kayfabe.
Okay, so I was thinking about this. I'm like, maybe they did this. Maybe this was a bit. Maybe he really didn't get hit in the head too hard, and they were playing it out like he did, and that it was all acting, and to wobble around like that, and to get to the spot last to be so much more hardcore. But then I thought about it, and WWE tried to do shit like that and got people killed.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that in professional wrestling, they are all in agreement, like a gentleman's code, that they wouldn't do spots like that they wouldn't play the audience like that, because once again, it makes it seem like, oh, well, they did it. Why can't I?
Yeah.
They did it that hardcore. I should do it even more hardcore. I should have more of an audience during COVID. This all fucking ties in, man. And I don't think that they would have done something like that. You know what I mean?
No, I think it wasn't. Now, when it was happening, I had no clue and wasn't very sure. I actually thought it was completely planned when it was going on until he came out. When he came out for the final spot, I was like, no, he's come back.
He's concussed. He's absolutely concussed.
Well, I thought that, but he's not. From what he went to a hospital and everything, but we don't know.
We'll see. We don't really know. We'll see what they say on Wednesday.
That's true.
So,
but I will say another highlight of that match would have been the tag team championship was great, and so was the AEW championship match.
Yep. So really, really good, really good wrestling.
Paper.
Yep. That brings us to the end of our show, guys.
Kind of sounds like Matt Hardy lost that match.
Yeah.
But like the script was that he wasn't supposed to, so he had to push himself after that.
Yep. You're absolutely right, James.
Yeah, probably it. I probably know how it goes.
James, what do you got going on this next week? We're doing this every week, guys.
Well, I'm gonna get ready for next week.
I'm gonna put it up to a vote right now.
Okay.
Do we want to keep fuzzy memory trivia going?
Maybe sometime.
No. I vote.
I'm gonna. We also need to figure out good ways to interact with our audience members. So, audience
Mhm.
members, if you have any good ways for us to interact with you, let us know.
Yeah, if you are on Discord, just like jump in sometime, or I don't
Facebook.
know, ask us how that works.
You could also Facebook us or Twitter us if you don't know what Discord is. But yeah,
I
let
mean,
us
you
know
should figure
how.
out what Discord is, though.
Yeah, you should know how we could make a Discord forum for them. But yeah, if you want to correspond with us, you can email us too, I think. Just let us know. Let us know what you think. But yeah, guys, we're at the end of the show.
We are.
And
We've
we're
done it.
gonna be back next week. And FuzzJockRadio.com. Go to our web store. We got merchandise there. New merch is coming soon.
FuzzTalkShop.com.
FuzzTalkShop.com.
./.net.
James, what do you got going on this next week?
Well, this next week, just kind of feeling out school situation. I will be starting a little bit of homeschooling for my child, who would be doing kindergarten this year, but it's probably easy enough to teach kindergarten to one kid, I figure.
Good.
You know.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It should
And
be.
I
I have a lot of like belief in you.
Hey, thanks. You know,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna heavily use Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild incorporated into our lessons,
Okay.
so it should go over quite well.
You should also incorporate that Mario collection that's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's coming. I'm excited for that.
Maybe a little Tony Hawk too.
Oh yeah, the sports world is abuzz with the new Tony Hawk remaster. I'm gonna play that so much.
Yeah.
Bomb some stair sets.
Yeah.
Heel flip some gaps,
I
kicker
re-
gaps.
I really like that. Just C-dubs. What do you got going on this next week? You have a lot to top there. Like James has put out a lot. He's got a really big week coming up.
I'm going to teach calculus to my 32-year-old. Take that.
What?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm going to probably play Fallout and go to work my 2 days a week like I do. And I'm going to wear a mask when I leave the house. And I'm going to wear a mask at my job when it's really hot, 104 degrees.
Nice.
And it's going to be fine because it's not that big of a deal.
Nice.
How about you, Fuzzy? What are you going to do?
I am going to move stuff into our new studio that I'm getting prepared after COVID.
New studio.
Nice.
Yeah. So I bought a studio and I'm moving into it this next week. Our stuff and things. And
We gotta get some of our space station parts.
Yeah.
Bring it down for the upgrade.
And then I'm quitting my regular job and getting a different and doing FuzzJock Radio 24/7.
I did that once. That was at the beginning of FuzzJock, wasn't it? Yeah. Full-time podcaster now.
Yeah,
is the life.
Full time. So make sure to go to FuzzJockShop.com. No.
FuzzTalkShop.com.
Oh, no, seriously. I am becoming an independent contractor this next week, which means that I am going to do a lot of IT work for people. And, because I'm not, once again, I'm not making any money off of any of the stuff that we do currently. All the money and proceeds that is really close to zero, other than the T-shirts that C-Dubs buys from the web store. All goes back into FuzzTalkRadio.com and FuzzJockShop.com and getting other radio hosts set up and ready to go on FuzzTalkRadio.com. Which brings me to, I'm sorry guys, I told you season 3 you don't know what to expect.
What are we doing?
I'm currently doing my little promo for FuzzTalkRadio.com.
I've heard of it.
Sundays we have Dagger Radio from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Monday nights is FuzzJock Radio from 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Mankato to Motown is back. Wednesday nights 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Or every other Wednesday. Thursday mornings, the Rabbit Hole's back from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we rebroadcast the Ethan Cleric show Friday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So we have a ton of stuff for you to listen to on FuzzTalkRadio.com. In between all those shows, we have music that runs 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you are a musician or an artist that would like to be played on the radio, make sure to send me emails at fuzztalkradio@gmail.com. If you are a fan of ours at FuzzJock Radio, send us emails to fuzzjockradio@gmail.com. Talk to us on fuzztalkradio.com. Do Twitter, Facebook, all those places. And I think we're done, guys. We're done.
We do it.
So long.
Farewell.
So long, farewell. I don't know that song, but I can't find our recorder. Okay, I'm done.